All right, welcome everyone. Shane Carter here again, Hampshire Capital, along with me, as always, our VP of Investor Relations, Eddie Austin. How's it going, Eddie?
Very good. And you?
Pretty good, man. Pretty good. So, what are we talking about today?
So today, I just got back from Peak Partnership in Orlando, Florida. And that was Peak Partnership 2023. And, I was surprised, and I think it's something we don't talk about enough. But I was people were like, hey, what do you do? And that's the general way to open a conversation. Hey, what do you do? Getting at other people to talk. And then, I didn't have to do too much about building rapport because they're like, hey, what's your goals for this year? I think it's important to ask someone their goals. And I said, well, hey, I'm the VP of Investor Relations, and I'm responsible for creating the first fund for Hampshire Capital along beside them. And we're looking to close $250 million this year in real estate. And they're like, wow. And at that point, the conversation just become different. And before you know it, there was other people that was coming to us, about the goals that we have. And they were, number one, there was people that wanted to partner with us or people that wanted to bring deals to us. And it become a beautiful thing because now we're doing what we love to do best, which is help people.
That's right.
Yeah. It really is. For us, we're just so passionate about helping other people, helping our people retain their wealth and grow their generational wealth through the opportunities that we create by buying these big buildings. And then by the amount of buildings that we close, we have opportunities in these buildings because of our buy box size to bring in pref equity. We have opportunities to bring in retail equity, meaning a retail investor. When I say retail investor, I mean the general public, the people that are accredited investors, the people that make, $200,000 a year singly or $300,000 a year as being a married couple with a good outline that you're going to make the same thing this year and then $1 million net worth excluding your home. So that's just high level. That's who we're looking for. That's who we can help is people like that. People that have an IRA, stuff like that. But to get back to the goals, I said, hey, we're looking at closing $250 million in real estate. Wow. So what is it? And I said, we do multifamily value add, A, B, and C. And, we do North Carolina, South Carolina, Florida, Texas, all those strong markets.
Yep.
And they're like, okay, so like value add, absolutely value add. And then it went to, so what does it look like for a deal that you close? Mm-hmm. Hey, we're a buy box. I'd say, I usually say $50 to $70 million is the type of asset that we're closing.
That's the average size of one of our transactions, actually. Yeah.
Yeah. And they said, okay, what's your door count? Normally it's 300 to 600 units. We've got a property that's 587 units. We just bought one that's 419 units. We're looking at one that's 327 units. We're going to close that this month. That's March, next month. And then we're looking at 500 plus units in Jacksonville, Florida. I'm here in Orlando going to look at another 213 units. And they're like, oh, wow. So what are them buildings, like what year are they? And I said, some of them are 1980s vintage properties. Some of them are a core plus, 16, 17 assets. Some of them are brand new.
Yeah, 2022. Yeah.
20, yeah. The one we're looking at in San Antonio is what, 22?
Yep.
And it's beautiful. It's a class, I would call that almost an AA, an A plus asset.
It's definitely
really
Class A asset, yeah. Yeah, and so I would break down our annual goal of, it is $250 million in assets that we're going to buy this year. And really it's going to be 5 to maybe 6 transactions, right? So It doesn't feel unwieldy, doesn't feel too much, and certainly is going to allow us to grow our infrastructure and grow our team concurrent with what we currently have, because we're currently about 2,000 units and about 250 million in assets right now. So we're essentially going to double, but that's because we're smaller in size right now, right? So we're not going to have to double our team, but we will have to add some key personnel. We do already have our construction vertical and our asset management vertical in house, and so we are going to continue to build those out. Specifically, the construction management, where we're really stepping into more of a GC role and getting rid of macro GCs. We're subcontracting the work ourselves, working with specific trade specific contractors, managing that process in a detailed fashion, and starting to bring in our own in-house labor force, which is really going to help us in that vertical. And then taking the steps internally through our process, which we're, as you know, Eddie, a big fan of EOS traction and 90-day rocks, and really having those goals and systems laid out for us. And so, what part of our goal too is to be able to take that property management vertical in-house by the end of the year, and that's one of our trajectories that we're on as well. So, so that's sort of the big picture of the company goals. Why don't you talk about what our kind of fund goals are, which are excited. We're launching our first fund next month. It's going to be a small first fund, just $10 million. Why don't you talk to us a little bit about our fund side?
Yeah. So, one of the things, it's easy to say you have a $250 million goal. It's easy to say we're going to close 5 assets. But I think we both reverse engineer that. And that's where I come into play and say, okay, we're going to need to raise X number of dollars to close this many deals. So you know what the goal is? And we say, all right, we're going to need to start a fund. Fund number 1 is $10 million in size, 506C. All our offerings are 506C. And then we're going to be, again, nothing but multifamily value add in these strong states that we're looking at, these sub-markets. But this first fund being $10 million is it's just to show how fast we can close a $10 million offering. And there's no ego around that. It's not a competition, but it's our personal goal to close that. And then we're going to go from 10 to 50. And then honestly, we have some different outlooks on it, but we're really pushing forward to close out fund number 2 this year, 2023, on the second fund. So fund number 2, and then probably breaking into Q1 in the 2024 being, maybe that $75 or $100 million fund again. And then we have a new goal, probably if we did 250 this year, let's see, the year before was right around 220 million.
No, we did about 180.
Right. So we went from 180 to 250. So, logically, we probably, target 500 million the following year. Mm-hmm. So, of course, for me, for what I do, being the fund side of this, is we're going to have a vehicle to raise capital into. And that vehicle, and that's one of the things is, leaving the syndication, because we figured out the different ways that syndication, it did some things for us. It did some good things for us. It made some nice partnerships. But we're in a place now in the maturity of our company that the ultimate scalability comes from a real estate fund. And just being able to really tend to our investors and really help this company grow in the right direction. And along with that is, bringing in all these people, making decisions faster, right? So having these asset managers across the United States and stuff like that, if we were able to have this stuff in-house, we realized we can make decisions faster. When we make decisions faster, that there's no loss and velocity of the money, because we're putting money out, we're not losing anything between, and the money coming back to us quicker.
Yeah.
So for me, it's super exciting to be vertically integrated and just taking care of these things right when they come up, just one after another. And I'm super excited about our future. And I really feel like 250 million is easy. Somebody hears me out at these real estate conferences, what's your goal? Hey, we're going to close 500 million this year and $1 billion next year. And, that excites people. And then they want to help you get there. Mm-hmm. And, I met 2 or 3 people. Could I have an opportunity to work for Hampshire Capital? And I tell them, hey, you never know. We're a growing company.
That's right.
I would say keep an eye out for it. There's a possibility, I'm sure, because we're always going to be growing and expanding because we've set these goals and we're excited to get there.
Yes, and it feels good, right? Sort of, one of the other things that I think we should touch on here as part of our goals is, yes, we have financial goals, we have acquisition goals, we have company growth goals, we have our fund goals, we have our fund 1, fund 2, and having them fully subscribed, and those are all amazing goals. But also, something we don't talk about enough, Eddie, and I'm glad that we have this forum to be able to talk about it, is what are our company goals for giving back and for philanthropy and for how we give back to the residents in our communities, and how do we give back to the communities that we live in, that we do business in, and that we work in. And that, I think, is really important. And so, we have a company mandate that each one of us in the company has to come up with at least one, but the ask is for 3. So everybody has to come up with 3 different nonprofit organizations that they believe in strongly. They have to say why they believe in it, why the organization is sound, and what exactly they do to help society or why they're a beneficial nonprofit. Our goals are to donate a portion of proceeds to every single employee's, a portion of it to every employee's nonprofits, right? And so mine, I'll just talk about mine real quick. Mine has always been, children. I do believe in children's organizations, helping children, protecting children. They're innocent, they're beautiful, they're special, and let's be honest, they're the future. And so I've had a history of supporting, local children's organizations here in New Hampshire. And we're going to start doing the same thing, in Texas, where we have assets, in Carolinas and Florida. Those are primarily going to be my big 3. And, we don't have to talk about everybody's, because everybody in the company is going to have their own say. But that, I think, is really important. That's part of our company goals this year as well.
Yeah, and I'm happy to be aligned with that because, for me, it's St. Jude's. I love that organization.
They're great.
And, it's just not fair, the things that them kids go through.
Yeah.
So it really made it easier to want to partner with this team because of the alignment that you have with that and the alignment that we have. If you look at our website, I would encourage you to go to our website. It's, HampshireCapital.com. And if you go on there and you look.
No, it's just Hampshire.capital.
Okay, Hampshire.capital. I apologize.
Yeah.
But if you
we'll put a link right up here.
Yes. Yeah. So if you go on our website and you look through it, and you can see our guiding principles and the things that we do, our ESG philosophy. You can now see the back end of that and why we care so much about it, because we are aligned to make sure that we have, funds to give and ways that we give back. And sometimes it don't even take money. The things that we're doing now with these apartment buildings, we're improving people's lives by giving them a better place to live.
That's right.
And then it's not we're going out here raising money to ask to give it to someone else. It's we are buying these assets in our business and then giving back to the communities by putting up better housing and prettier places to live with more amenities, stuff like that. And it's just so powerful. I just love it.
Yeah.
Everything about it.
We take it seriously. It's a big responsibility, right? I mean, for over 22 years now, I've been directly involved in housing. From developing it, building it, constructing it, and owning it. Housing is what my career has been based on, and I don't take that responsibility lightly. It's definitely been something that has done well for me personally, but I take that as an honor and as a responsibility then to do more and to help and give back more because of that honor that's been bestowed on me.
Right, absolutely. Shane, thank you so much for the time today. It's been a pleasure as always. And I look forward to the next one. So,
my pleasure.
See you all later.
Thanks, Eddie. Bye-bye.